Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I have great pleasure to welcome you all for this discussion on Sri Isopanisad. We are touching the final mantra, 18th shloka today. So before we start, let us chant our Manglasharanam prayers. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadbhaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Neelachal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Bhalabhadra Subhadrabhyam Shri Jagannatha Ite Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langai girim yadkripatamham vande Shri Gurum Dhinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tats. Hare Krishna. Once again, I thank all participants for joining and giving me your wonderful association. So let us go to the concluding mantra of this Isopanisad, an amazing Upanishad with 18 shlokas. We saw last week also another prayer. The 17th shloka was itself a prayer to the Lord that let my body perish and become ashes. Let my life breath stop and mix with the universal reservoir of air. That's it. We are just a small bubble that came up in the ocean. We existed for some time and then we dissolved, gone back into the ocean. That is as far as the body is concerned. The body is just a bubble, right? Bubble has a very short existence. In the ocean, constantly bubbles are being created in the waves and then they disappear. They exist for a short time and pat, they go. Our life is like that. Even though we take it very, very seriously, it is less than a flash. Nowadays, the sky, you don't see the celestial objects in the sky because there is so much of atmospheric pollution. But I remember when I was a child, we would lie in the open terrace, on the roof. Then time to time, we could see flashes like a meteor, Just so many meteors here, there. It would be, the sky would be dazzling with stars. And then you could see flashes going. Just, you'll miss it if you are not alert for a moment, you will miss it. Our life is like that. In a life of eternity, what is a life of even 100 years? Brahma's life is called like a flash. Brahma's life is compared to a flash. Brahma lives for something like 4 trillion years. That's a flash. What to speak about our own life? So, my breath, what is keeping me alive? The air outside. It is going in and coming out. Going in and coming out. Not that I am breathing. When I am sleeping, am I consciously breathing? Or when I am working or I am absorbed in some activity, am I conscious? Voluntarily, the Vayu Bhagavan is just entering and going out, entering, going, and in the process, he is keeping this whole body alive and active. The air that goes in, the oxygen is circulated to the whole body along with prana, and that oxygen, it generates energy by burning whatever storage of fuel is there in my blood, like carbon which is stored, it's burnt and it becomes carbon dioxide and energy. I'm using that energy to do work and give my body heat, and the carbon becomes carbon dioxide, and then I breathe it out. It's all happening unconsciously. Am I beating my heart consciously? There is from the brain, one pulse is going regularly to the heart, making it beat, electric pulse. There is a wire going from brain to the heart, and then tug, tug, tug. The pulse goes and the heart contracts. Pulse goes and the heart expands, contract, expand. One pulse from the brain. Automatic. So same way our lungs expanding, contracting, our diaphragm going in, coming out, our abdomen, they say you have to breathe through the abdomen, right? In pranayama, they teach you how to breathe through the abdomen. Oftentimes we breathe from the top of our chest. We have to breathe from the abdomen. In pranayama, we practice that. Abdomen, you have to feel going in, out, going in, out. And abdomen, when it goes out, it creates a huge cavity and more air can enter. And then abdomen, the diaphragm goes inside. It's called diaphragmatic breathing. And middle chest, we expand the rib cage and then the collarbones, and then we fill the lungs with air. But this is conscious breathing. But unconsciously, the baby, you have seen a little baby breathing, the stomach rising, falling very fast. Small baby breathes far more times, but as we grow up, breathing slows down. But it is all automatic. If breathing becomes a conscious effort, we will be doing nothing in our life except breathe. What do you say? Yeah? Can anyone of you react to this? If we have to breathe consciously, if you don't breathe, you'll become breathless. You have to be conscious. Then what will happen? Can we do any other work in our life?
No, Prabhuji. We can do nothing.
Like our heart is beating, our liver is doing its job, our kidneys are doing their job, all automatic. No? Same way, that's why they advise you to, in pranayama, they ask you to focus on the breath because they want you to realize. They say, observe your breathing. They don't say you breathe consciously. No. You observe to realize. See, throughout the day, we are not aware about the going in and coming out of the air. So we become, I am a big shot. I am doing this, I am doing that. Without realizing that the air which is going in and out automatically, that is keeping me alive. That is not even a conscious act. So in pranayama, the greatest pranayama or meditation is to observe the breath coming in and going out without making effort. You should not make effort. Just watch, observe. That's called mindfulness. Just see how things are happening around you automatically. No effort. Air should go in and come out. Sometimes it will stay inside for some time. Don't put effort to push it out. Or when it is out, it will stay that way for some time. Don't drag it in. Just watch, relax and observe. That is the best pranayama, best relaxation. When you realize that it is an automatic process, consciously, you should become conscious of your breathing and it should still remain automatic. Then you are mastering your pranayama. Then you will realize, I am simply a cog in the wheel. This existence is not I am doing anything to stay alive. Paramatma is doing everything. So these are amazing things. So in this 18th shloka, so 17th shloka, we saw about how the life air is simply part of the universal reservoir of air. And this body is just a small lump of clay from this soil. But by the miracle of God, the soil is converted into plant becomes fruit, and fruit becomes my food. Or if I am a non-vegetarian, the plant becomes food of some animal, and that animal flesh becomes my food. And in any case, it is all transformation of the mud only. So I'm eating mud. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed this amazing pastime when he was a little child. His mother brought a leaf plate full of nice milk sweets and gave it to him. He was sitting in the garden, and she just gave it to him. Then someone came and complained, Mother, Nimai is eating mud. Then mother came running and said, Oh, Nimai, I have given you some nice sweet. Why are you eating mud? Then, Nimai started crying and teaching philosophy to his mother. Nimai said, Oh, mother, you have also given me only mud to eat. So what is my fault? Whatever you have given is also transformation of mud only. So I am also eating mud. What is my fault? So mother told him, see, this mud, if it is made into a pot, I carry water in that. But this clay, if I pour water into this clay, it will become only a slush. It won't be useful to me. A pot is useful to fetch water and store water. So like that, everything is a transformation, but everything has its function. It is the arrangement of the Lord that you should use it in the way it is meant. Then Chaitanya, little Nimai became very happy and he climbed onto the lap of his mother. Oh, mother, now I understand. Why you did not tell me earlier? Please let me drink your milk. So little baby started taking his mother's milk. So yes, everything is transformation. We see our body is simply the mud, which has become our body for some time. And then it will again become mud. It will become the elements and it will mix. That's all. How I say this is me? How I claim this is me? Tomorrow my body will become part of another body. Every day we are excreting so much from our body. Every day, every minute. Cells are going out. Dead cells are going out. We are excreting through the nose, through the ears, through the eyes. Our body is full of excrement. Not sacrament, excrement. So horrible things are getting out of our body all the time. And that is recycled by nature into bodies of other beings. Right? The excreta becomes fertilizer, and then that crops grow. Amazing crops with nice fragrance. The foul-smelling excreta becomes food for the soil, and from that plants grow. And they give us food again. See the cycle. Karma chakra. Cycle. This is Lord's amazing thing. But still people don't believe in God. Without an amazing intelligence, how can these things happen? Not possible. So that prayer goes like this. Oh Supreme Lord, my body will die, my life air will mix, but I will still exist. And all my activities you will remember. I will forget when my body is gone, but you will remember. And because I am a devotee, please remember whatever I have done for you in devotional activities. Whatever activities you do it for my pleasure. Krishna says, as a sacrifice to me, for my satisfaction. And so at the time of death, the devotee is praying, oh Lord, please remember, Kratosmara, you are the beneficiary of whatever sacrifices I have done in my life. Not foolish sacrifices. Somebody does satyagraha. Why? Because I want the government to do something for me. So Prabhupada says, this is nonsense. You have no right to torture your body the way you want. I am going on satyagraha fast. For what? This is purely spiritual. This is meant for spiritual emancipation, to realize the true self. Prabhupada wrote to Mahatma Gandhi, you have got freedom. Now it is time for you to retire from politics. learn and teach Bhagavad Gita to the population. They listen to you. The land is hopelessly divided. So much problem. And your politics has failed. Now anyway, you got independence, no? Now you become spiritual and teach it to the population. This is the only way you can save yourself, or you will be killed. Prabhupada wrote few months before Mahatma Gandhi died. Because Mahatma Gandhi lived very little after independence, you see. August 1947, independence, and January 30, 48, he's gone. And Prabhupada wrote, after independence, that you will be killed. But then, unfortunately, as Kali would have it, Mahatma Gandhi, either he did not get the letter only, or if he got it, he did not read it. Or if he did read it, he did not act on it. So, now we come to mantra 18. Agne naya supata raye asman vishwani deva vayunani vidvan iyodyasma juhuranam yeno bhuyishtham te nama vuktim vidhema. Agne naya supataraye asman vishwani deva vayunani vidvan yuyodhyasma juhuranam meno bhuyishtham te nama vuktim vidhema. This is another prayer. Both 17 and 18 are prayers. They are worth memorizing with translation, and you can offer it to the Lord daily. So here, Agni, the Lord is called as fire. Agni means fire. Agni means it's a invocation to call the Lord. Oh my Lord, as powerful as fire. Agni. Naya means kindly lead, like lead, kindly light, like that. Kindly lead me. Supatha, by the right path. Patha means path. Supatha means right path. Supatha. Raye. Raye means so that I can reach you. So, oh Lord, you are like fire. Fire means it's light, no? Fire gives light. So please lead me with your light on the right path to reach you. Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodi Asmat Juhuranam Yenaha Bhuyishtham Te Nama Vuktim Vidhema. So he's saying, oh Lord, as powerful as fire, please lead me on the right path to reach you. Oh Lord, you know all my actions of the past. Vayunani, all my past actions are known to you. Vidwan, you are aware of that. Yuyodi, Asmat Juhuranam. So my past foolish actions, which I have performed selfishly, out of ignorance, in forgetfulness of you, without Krishna consciousness, whatever actions I have done, they are becoming obstacles on my path now. Please understand, whatever obstacles we are facing on the path of spirituality is our own karma of the past. So here, this amazing prayer is given to the Lord. Oh Lord, as powerful as fire. Fire does two things, What are the two things that the fire does? Its actions.
Heat, Prabhuji, and burns.
Sorry?
It heats up and it burns.
It gives light and gives heat. The heat burns. So it can show light on the path and it can burn the obstacles. Right? So as fire, Supreme Lord is fire. He can light the path. Our path is so dark. Yes. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Our prayer, no? Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamas means darkness. From darkness, lead me to the light. Like that, Agni, please shed light on my path and so that I can see the right path to walk. And on my path, there are obstacles which were created by me in the past by my foolish actions. Today, somebody has become an addict because of drinking or taking intoxicating drugs in the past. Today, it has become an obstacle. He is suffering from withdrawal symptoms and he is struggling. Same way, We are all addicted to so many things. Our past bad habits, so many bad habits. Somebody accustomed to waking up 8 o'clock in the morning. Now they have come to spiritual life. They are told 4 o'clock is the best time to do your japa. And this person who is never got up before 8, he finds an obstacle because of his past actions. Because in the past he thought this world is for my enjoyment. And I don't want to rise up before the sun rises. Only when the hot sun rays will beat down on me, then only I will wake up. Or they will sleep very late in the night. They will spend hours in front of television, or gossiping, or backbiting, or doing some useless sense gratification. Accustomed. So these have become obstacles. Not only that, also actions done by me in the past out of foolish desire, like cheating, committing other crimes, like doing violence to other living entities, stealing, right? Doing all these selfish actions. They produce their reactions also. So these reactions hit me like some bad events in my family, bad health, or bad financial situation. In different ways, my past karma hit me. Again, it becomes an obstacle on my spiritual path also, not only on the material path. A diseased body or a diseased mind is an obstacle for our spiritual life. Old age is a big problem for spirituality because every part of the body starts paining. To wake up early in the morning becomes more and more difficult. So old age is a problem. Disease is a problem. So many different diseases. They say suddenly they discover cancer and they say this is 4th stage. Up to 3 stages, no hint. 4th stage, they say it has, what is it? Metastasized. The cancer has moved to other parts of the body. Not only your liver is affected, but it has spread to other parts. Not much can be done. You have only months to live. Suddenly, what happened? 1st stage, 2nd stage, 3rd stage, I was not aware what is going on inside the body. So these are all obstacles coming from my own past actions. Never blame God for our sufferings. So this shloka teaches, oh Lord. So let us read the complete translation. Can one of you read the translation, please? Ajit Prabhu, you are there?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, translation. Yes.
O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you my obeisances. Falling on the ground at your feet, O my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reactions to my past sins, so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So what a beautiful prayer. Lord is as powerful as fire. He can show me the right path and he can burn the obstacles on my path. God is a person, most powerful, omnipotent. And this is my prayer. Why? I have a relationship with him. I love him and I know he loves me. So I can make this prayer to him because I am a devotee. I lived my life in Krishna consciousness. I did all my activities for the pleasure of Krishna. So when I am dying, I am making this prayer. Oh Lord, when I am dying, even when I am all well and fine, I can still make this prayer. I am falling on the ground at your feet. I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet, because I know I am at your mercy only. I am your eternal servant. I am at your mercy. See, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings, Asrishyava pagaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yata data va vitadhatu lampado matprananatastu sayevana paraha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Sikshashtakam, 8th sloka. He says, you are my eternal master. And you are my Prananath. You are the Lord of my life. And you can do with me anything you want. You can show yourself to me and give me a tight embrace. Or you may never appear in front of me. Or you can rub me to the ground, under your feet and make me dust. Anything you can do. You are completely independent. You can go to other devotees while neglecting me. He is singing this in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is in the mood of Radharani. But Radharani is the greatest devotee. So in the mood of the greatest devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us the mood of doing devotion. After surrendering everything to the Lord, becoming humbler than a blade of grass, becoming tolerant more than a tree, giving all respects to others, not expecting anything in return. At the same time, not asking for na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitamba, jagarisha kami. After doing so much and chanting the holy names, but still, I don't want anything from you. I don't want wealth. I don't want beautiful women to associate with. I don't want a lot of name and fame. What do I want? I don't even want freedom from rebirth. Mama janmani, janmani ishvare. Even if I get many, many births, oh my Lord, bhavata bhakti rahaita tvai. I want to have unmotivated faith towards your lotus feet. Ahaitiki bhakti. That's all I want. I don't mind taking any number of rebirths. I'm not afraid of taking birth. But in my every birth, let me be surrendered to your lotus feet. I am your eternal servant. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budho kripaya tava pada pankaja stita duli sadrusham vichintaya. I am eternally was Kimkara. Kinkara. Kinkara means servant. Kim Karaha means, what can I do for you? That's a servant. No, always waiting. What can I do for you? That's called Kim Karaha. Kim Kara means it's a question. Kim Karaha. What can I do for you? So he's a servant. So I am your Kim Kara. Ayi Nanda Tanuja. Oh, son of Nanda Maharaj. I am your servant forever. But somehow I have fallen into this material pool. How? By desiring to enjoy independently from you. I have fallen. Somehow or the other. Please pick me up and attach me to your lotus feet as a small particle of dust, insignificant dust. That's all I want. Once I'm attached to your lotus feet as an insignificant dust, my life becomes perfect. Please take me. That's a prayer. When will my eyes start shedding tears? When I chant your holy names and my hair stand on end and my voice will choke. When will I have that feeling while chanting your holy names of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When will I have that mood? And your absence has now become unbearable to me. The viraha of separation from you has become unbearable to me. One moment appears like 12 years or more to me. The time that I close my eyes and open, your absence, when I wink my eyes, your absence for that moment is intolerable to me. Then he says, but still, I am eternally your servant. You can do with me whatever you want. So you see, when a devotee becomes truly advanced, he doesn't say, oh Lord, I am such a great devotee. I've been doing devotion for so many years. Now it is time for me to destroy all my suffering and give me happiness. That's not the mood of a devotee. Devotee is servant forever, without demands. But please understand, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, when we live for the pleasure of Krishna, our happiness becomes automatic. It's automatic. Foolishly, we are trying to enjoy without Krishna, which is impossible. With Krishna, it becomes possible. Eternally, ever-growing joy becomes possible. Only in the association of Krishna. But we are doing without Krishna. When you turn away from the sun, you are in the shadow. When you turn towards the sun, there is no shadow at all. So the darkness we are experiencing in our life is because we are turned away from Krishna. And that is how this material world is experienced. Spiritual world is fully conscious. Material world is fully unconscious. Yes, everything around us is unconscious, including our own body. It is the presence of the soul that makes it appear as though the body is conscious, like a car being driven by a driver inside, or a plane being flown by the pilot inside. They are not living things, but they appear to act as though they are alive. Like a robot, no? These days they have robots in factories. They appear to be really alive, They see, they hear, they pick up things so perfectly, they place them so perfectly, they adjust things. Amazing. But they are not alive. The operator skill is making it appear as though the machine is intelligent. So like that. So we have to develop that mood, that Agne, oh fire, you are the fire. I am simply a spark of your fire. You remember in one of the slokas earlier we saw, like the sun, so I am to you. You are the sun and I am your spark. We saw that in which sloka was that? Anyway, you can see that. So that is the prayer. Okay. So this is the prayer. Because of my past karma, I have created obstacles for myself. Today I see them as obstacles. Till yesterday I saw them as pleasure. I saw them sense gratification as the goal of life. And all my life I lived to acquire wealth so that I can enjoy sense gratification. All these are my two things. Acquire artha to enjoy karma. Acquire artha to enjoy karma. This is the way I have lived. But today I realize, oh Lord, please destroy the obstacles. Because now I have become a devotee. Please destroy the obstacles on my path. So today, can I request each of you to read one paragraph and then we can have a small discussion if it is needed. So in any order, one of you can start. Maybe Chitra Mataji, you can start with the first paragraph and then we can go on. As in the list of participants. Or whoever is present, because some of you may not be here, camera is not on.
I will read Mat Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay.
Purport no Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay.
By surrendering to the Lord and praying for his causeless mercy, the devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. The Lord is addressed as fire because he can burn anything into ashes, including the sins of the surrendered soul. As described in the previous mantras, the real or ultimate aspect of the Absolute is his feature as the personality of Godhead, and his impersonal Brahmajyoti feature is a dazzling covering over his face. Fruitive activities on the Karma Kanda path of self-realization is the lowest stage in this endeavor. As soon as such activities even slightly deviate from the regulative principles of the Vedas, they are transformed into vikarma or acts against the interest of the actor. Such vikarma is enacted by the illusion, the living entity, simply for sense gratification, and thus such activities become hindrances on the path of self-realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you, Mataji. So, would
Hare
you
Krishna.
like to
May I
say
read,
something? No, you let us say a couple of lines about what we have read, then we will do this, so that we remain alert to what we are hearing or speaking. Okay. So what have we read now in this paragraph? Why suddenly Prabhupada brings up fruitive activities or karma kanda as the lowest stage in this endeavor? So first
We'll
thing,
again come into this life, Prabhuji, again and
Sorry?
again. Birth cycle. We will again fall into the birth cycle, birth and death cycle, Prabhuji.
But basically, they are the obstacles. Whatever fruitive activity we have done, in this shloka, we saw the prayer to remove the obstacles, correct? What are these obstacles? Whatever I have done in the past, we are telling the Lord, oh Lord, whatever I have done in the past. And these activities which are not devotional, they are becoming obstacles. So Prabhupada is explaining karma kanda. What is karma kanda? Can anybody explain?
Expecting some results, Prabhu, and praying to the Lord.
Yes.
Like
So,
if I pray this, you must give me this.
And not only prayer, whatever we do in life, not
expecting
necessarily
the result.
Yeah, with thinking, I am the doer of this work and the results I will enjoy. Whatever we do, with the desire that I will enjoy the fruit of this action. That is fruitive
thinking
activity.
that we are only the reason for everything.
Yes, but karma kanda is Vedic. Karma kanda tells, okay, you have desires, please make sure that these desires are bona fide. In the sense, they are approved in the scriptures. Like if I want to enjoy with my neighbor's wife, that's not approved in the scriptures.
Yes, yes.
So like that, Karma Kanda tells you which is acceptable and which is not acceptable. And it also tells you out of the acceptable goals, how to achieve them. And it gives you methods. It gives you austerities. It gives you charities. It gives you, yagyas, what you can do, that you can achieve those goals. So this is Karma Kanda, part of Vedic scripture. And this is the bulk of Vedic scriptures. How to get various desires fulfilled by worshipping different demigods or doing various kind of activities. How to get your desires. But the same things, they become obstacles now. Because we have become accustomed to sense enjoyment. The sense enjoyment is a bondage. It doesn't allow you to develop attachment to Krishna, which is your true source of enjoyment. All these material enjoyments are obstacles. So that is why Prabhupada is talking about that. Even though it is from the Vedas, this Karma Kanda, there is a big danger. What is that? Even when you make a small mistake, the whole thing backfires. It becomes vikarma, produces dangerous results. So Prabhupada says, living entity in illusion wants sense gratification, and those activities become hindrances. So this is one point Prabhupada is focusing. Second thing he's focusing is, from this shloka again, he picks up, the Lord is a person. The Brahma Jyoti is a shining covering of his face, effulgent covering of his face. That we are looking beyond the light as devotees, and we are praying to the Lord directly. So these are the two main things we see here. And as fire, the Lord can burn down all our sins. Okay, second paragraph.
Shall I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Self-realization is possible in the human form of life, but not in other forms. There are 84 lakh species or forms of life, of which the human form, qualified by Brahminical culture, presents the only chance to obtain knowledge of transcendence. Brahminical culture includes truthfulness, sense control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God. It is not that one simply becomes proud of his high parentage. Just as being born the son of a big man affords one a chance to become a big man, so being born the son of a Brahmana gives one a chance to become a Brahmana. But such a birthright is not everything, for one still has to attain the Brahminical qualifications for himself. As soon as one becomes proud of his birth as the son of a Brahmana and neglects to acquire the qualifications of a real Brahmana, he at once becomes degraded and falls from the path of self-realization. Thus, his life's mission as a human being is defeated.
Amazing. Amazing. So Prabhupada is slowly leading us, towards something. So what is the focus here? In
The
this
focus is, I think Prabhuji, if I may just add, he is trying to emphasize the fact that these are not qualifications by birth. You have been born as a Brahmin because of the merits of your parents or some other reason. So you have to acquire the Brahminical qualifications. And he has mentioned simplicity, forbearance, all those other qualities, sense control, and full knowledge, etc. So merely being born a Brahmin does not give you the Brahminical rights as such.
Yes, but it gives a starting advantage.
Yes.
You can misuse that. There is an initial edge. A Brahminical birth gives you an edge. But if you take it in the wrong path, the whole thing becomes a problem. But the focus here is human form of life is so very precious. Out of 84 lakh species, we have become human beings. And within human beings, the goal is to become a Brahmana. If you are a Brahmana by birth, great. You have some advantage because of good karma in the past. But what are you doing with it? Because a Brahmana means, yes.
But Prabhuji, a small question. If you're born as any other this thing also in the Varna class,
yes,
there also it gives you a chance to get into the next one.
Yeah, see, absolutely. That's the point here Prabhupada is making. Someone born a Brahmana has to develop these qualities, and he will not have too much difficulty if he wants these qualities. But a person who is not born a Brahmana, he can also develop these qualities.
Yes, yes.
And a Brahmana is by quality. So you see, this sentence you read, such a beautiful sentence. He said, just as being born the son of a big man affords you a chance to become a big man, so being born the son of Brahmana gives you a chance to become a Brahmana. You can become a Brahmana. So if you read, in texts like Bhagavatam, you come across this word, phrase like Brahma Bandhu, Kshatra Bandhu, Vaishya Bandhu, like that. Bandhu means a relative. So someone who is born a Brahman means born to a Brahmin father, but he doesn't have the qualities of a Brahmin. He's not called Brahmin, he's called Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu means he's a relative of a Brahmin. He is a relative of a Brahmin. So Aswathama becomes the general after all the leaders are gone. Duryodhana, when he's dying, he makes Aswathama the head of his army. And promptly Aswathama goes and kills the 5 sons of Pandavas in their sleep, in the middle of the night. They are sleeping. All the 5 heads he cuts. And then he brings the 5 heads together in one knot and puts it before Duryodhana. Duryodhana chastises him. What have you done? Is this the way to do battle? And he does that. And doing that, subsequently, he realizes that, oh, there is still a hair. He is growing in the womb of Uttara, the wife of Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu is already killed. But there is still a child. I want to kill that child also. And he shoots a Brahmastra to only kill the child in the womb. What kind of a personality is he? So what happens after he has killed the 5 sons of Pandavas? Arjuna chases him. Krishna is riding the chariot and Arjuna is chasing, and Aswathama is trying to run away. But finally they catch him. To cut a long story short, they tie him up with a rope like an animal and they bring him in front of Draupadi. Because Draupadi is crying uncontrollably. So Arjuna says, now I have brought him. Now I will kill him and you stand on his head and take a bath. And then you let us perform the other ceremonies. Draupadi, what she does? She immediately falls at the feet of Arjun and says, see, he's the son of your guru. How can you treat him like this? He's a Brahmana. Then Bhima says, and Krishna says, he's not a Brahmana, he's a Brahma Bandhu. He's a relative of a Brahmana. He's not a Brahmana. Not that because he's son of Drona, he has not become Brahmana. He has no qualities. What has he done? He has behaved worse than an animal. How can we give him the respect of a Brahmana? So this is the understanding. Similarly, the son of a king who doesn't behave like a king, doesn't show valor on the battlefield, runs away, he's a Kshatra Bandhu. He's not an actual Kshatriya. So that way. So, but still, whether I am born a Brahmin or a non-Brahmin, my goal in this life is to become a Brahmin. And it is possible. And ISKCON gives demonstration of that. And even before ISKCON, Gaudiya Math, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started this process of giving Brahman Diksha. One who has the qualities necessary: non-violence, truthfulness, cleanliness, and mercy. If you have these 4 qualities, that means no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And you are chanting the holy names of the Lord. Minimum 16 malas per day. You are a Brahmana. Of course, there are certain guidelines internally within ISKCON that you have to read some scriptures, you have to take some exams, and you have to pass to show that you have a scriptural understanding, not simply sentimental, scriptural understanding. Then they give you a Brahman Diksha, they give you a holy thread, and they allow you to touch the deity and perform worship. They don't ask which caste you belong to, in which caste were you born. Oh, you are an untouchable. No, I cannot allow you to touch the deity. No. A Brahmana will not be allowed to touch the deity. A Brahmana should also get Brahmana initiated by passing all these criteria. Then only he can touch the deity. So birth is not a criteria at all. Quality is the criteria. But Brahminical birth is an advantage in acquiring these qualities. Otherwise, no. So Prabhupada is telling why we are now focusing on Brahmana suddenly, Brahminical culture, truthfulness, self-control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God. They are your steps to go towards Krishna, to go towards transcendence. These qualities make you sattvic. And from there, one step up to transcendence. So that is why Prabhupada is focusing on self-realization And self-realization is possible in the human form, provided we acquire Brahminical qualities. Thank you. Next paragraph.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. May I read? In
Yes.
the Bhagavad Gita 6.41 and 42, we are assured by the Lord that the yoga
Brashtas.
brashtas or souls fallen from the path of self-realization are given a chance to rectify themselves by taking birth either in the families of good Brahmanas or in the families of rich merchants. Such births afford higher chances for self-realization. If these chances are misused due to illusion, one loses good opportunity of human life afforded by the Almighty Lord. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
No, this is an elaboration of the previous paragraph where Prabhupada says, if you are taking birth in a Brahmana family, that means you have done something good in the past. And because of that, you are a yoga brashta. You are doing yoga, but somewhere you fell down. So the Lord wanted to give you a chance, and they gave you birth in a Brahmin family. But if you misuse that, you have lost that opportunity. And you will again go down in the hierarchy of species. You have to go down. You may not get a Brahmin birth again because you have missed your chance. So the Lord is constantly watching and trying to give a chance. Again, why does somebody descend into a lower species? Because they show the desires apt for a lower species. So the Lord gives an appropriate body so that they can enjoy those desires. A Brahmana means he has certain desires which are more elevated desires. But after getting a Brahman birth, he demonstrates desire for inferior things. Like yesterday, we watched a drama of Ajamil. There was a Rath Yatra, and at the end of the Rath Yatra, they had an amazing drama. You can see maybe in YouTube. Ajamil born to a Brahman father and having a good, nicely brought up. But unfortunately, he sees a drunken man and a characterless woman embracing in public. And when he saw them, his mind was disturbed. And after that became an abominable character. And he kicked his father, wife, everybody out. He started living with this prostitute and all those things. So that is, the way we fall down. How we become victim of our senses and then we fall down. Yeah, next paragraph.
May I read, Prabhuji? May I read,
Yeah.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
The regulative principles are such that one who follows them is promoted from the platform of fruitive activities to the platform of transcendental knowledge. After many, many lifetimes of cultivating transcendental knowledge, one becomes perfect when he surrenders unto the Lord. This is the general procedure. But one who surrenders at the very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, at once surpasses all preliminary stages simply by adopting the devotional attitude. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, and frees him from all the reactions to his sinful acts. There are many sinful reactions involved in Karma Kanda activities, whereas in Jnana Kanda, the path of philosophical development, the number of such sinful activities is smaller. But in devotional service to the Lord, the path of bhakti, there is practically no chance of incurring sinful reactions. One who is a devotee of the Lord attains all the good qualifications of the Lord himself, what to speak of those of Brahmana. A devotee automatically attains the qualifications of an expert Brahmana authorized to perform sacrifices, even though the devotee may not have taken his birth in a Brahmana family. Such is the omnipotence of the Lord. He can make a man born in a Brahmana family as degraded as a low-born dog-eater, and he can also make a low-born dog-eater superior to a qualified Brahmana simply on the strength of devotional service. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So here, Prabhupada is coming to the point. Earlier he said, out of 84 lakh species, human form is important. Within human form, you have to become a Brahmana. And then he gives in this paragraph, he describes the procedure. Regulative principles must be followed. No meat eating, no interrogation, no illicit sex, no gambling, like that. There are so many other regulative principles. By following that, one rises from the Karma Kanda platform to Jnana Kanda level. Karma Kanda means doing fruitive activities. But at that level, if you strictly follow the rules and don't violate them, then you will slowly go to Jnana Kanda. What is Jnana Kanda? You realize that I am not the body. You become qualified to read the scriptures and obtain liberation, to go beyond the three gunas and rise to the level of transcendence. That's called Jnana Marga. So Prabhupada says, if someone is following Karma Kanda, he has every chance of falling down. But if he strictly follows, he will become eligible to do Jnana Kanda. And Jnana Kanda, after many lifetimes of practicing that, Krishna says, this is all based on Bhagavad Gita. I can give you the quotes, but because of paucity of time, I'm not doing. Everything is connected with Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Krishna says, after many, many lifetimes, the jnani finally surrenders to me. After realizing that, oh, Supreme Truth is a person, Vasudeva Sarvam, then he surrenders to me. He says, but it takes Bahunam janmanam ante. After many, many lifetimes, that's what Prabhupada is giving here, of jnana. First you do Karma Kanda many lifetimes. Hopefully you come to Jnana Kanda if you don't make mistakes. And Jnana Kanda also, after many, many lifetimes, you surrender to the Lord. But this is the general procedure. But in this shloka, it is talking about directly surrendering to the Lord. Actually, what Prabhupada is telling in ISKCON, if you come to International Society for Krishna Consciousness, we make everybody a devotee of Krishna. We don't tell, okay, you do Karma Kanda, you do Jnana Kanda, you do yoga. We don't tell anything to anyone. Everyone who comes, we make a devotee. Everyone becomes a devotee. So Prabhupada says, by surrendering at the very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, like we are reading second chapter of Bhagavad Gita today, and we found that Buddhi Yoga means Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti is only Buddhi Yoga. There is no intermediary thing. Straight away you surrender to the Lord and make every one of your activities spiritual. So this is what Prabhupada is telling here. By adopting the devotional attitude, you transcend all these preliminary stages. It's like, circular staircase. If you want to reach the top in a circular staircase, like in a lighthouse, if you are in Charminar, what is that, Qutub Minar? You climb round, then eventually reach the top when you are breathless. But there is an elevator, it takes you straight to the top. And Bhakti Yoga is like that. And ISKCON is like that. ISKCON takes you straight up the elevator to the top floor. While others are, huffing and then slowly climbing up the stairs. So that's what Prabhupada is telling you. In the stage of Karma Kanda, scope of sinful activities is very high. In the level of Jnana Kanda, scope is reduced, but still sin can happen. Like Vishwamitra, he was doing tapasya. And what happened? Suddenly Menaka came and the jingling of her bangles, that's all, he fell down. And there was Shaubari Muni. He was doing meditation under the water for 10,000 years. But he opened his eyes underwater and he saw two fish mating. And he fell down. He immediately went to the king and said, I want to marry your daughter. And the king had 50 daughters. And he transformed himself into such a handsome guy. All the 50 girls said, I want to marry him. So he became a husband of 50 wives. Someone who was trying to become liberated from material life, he became completely bound. So these are the things that happen. So fall down happens in Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. But in devotional service, even though bypassing Karma and Jnana, you come directly to Bhakti simply by the mercy of devotees, simply by the mercy of Guru. What happens? You become a devotee of the Lord. And then you attain all qualifications of the Lord himself. What to speak about a Brahmana? So now you connect. Previous paragraph, we spoke about Brahmana. What qualities you have to cultivate to become a Brahmana. But here we are telling, just by becoming a devotee of the Lord, you develop all good qualities, better than a Brahmana. You develop the qualities of the Lord. See this. So this is how very thoughtfully Prabhupada has written this purpose. So we should read with so much focus and attention, then we connect things properly. Otherwise you will think, oh, what is here, what is there, I don't see the connection. You have to read with meticulous attention. So what happens to a devotee? He becomes greater than an expert Brahmana. What yajna can be performed by only expert Brahmanas, a Chandala can do, provided he becomes a devotee. Chandala. But a Brahmana who has not developed faith in the Lord, he becomes degraded as a low-born dog eater. So this is all based on devotion service by the fire of the Lord. Now we see the potency of the Lord. He is called a fire, Agni. He's fire. He can do all these things. A person, a very elevated person, can fall down. And the most fallen person can become a pure devotee better than a Brahmana. Yes, next paragraph, please. We will read next paragraph.
May I read? Prabhuji?
Yeah. Paragraph. Yes.
Since the omnipotent Lord is situated within the heart of everyone, he can give directions to his sincere devotees, by which they can attain the right path. Such directions are especially offered to the devotee even if he desires something else. As far as others are connected, God gives sanction to the doer only at the risk of the doer. But in the case of a devotee, the Lord directs him in such a way that he never acts wrongly. The Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.42 says,
Yeah, this is a nice meter. I will read this, you can practice. Huh? It's a nice meter for reading. See, Vapada bhajata priyasya yattanya bhavasya pareshaha vikarma yachot patitam katanchit dhunoti sarvam hridi sanitaha. Yes, Prabhu.
the Lord is so kind to the devotee who is fully surrendered to his lotus feet that even though the devotee sometimes falls into the entanglement of vikarma, acts against the Vedic directions, the Lord at once rectifies such mistakes from within his heart. This is because the devotees are very dear to the Lord.
Very well. So thank you, Prabhu. So here is it. This is all backed by Bhagavad Gita also. You know what he says? Omnipotent Lord is sitting in the heart of everyone. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. The Lord is sitting in the heart of everyone as Paramatma. And he gives directions to sincere devotees. Tesham sakatayuttanam bhajatam priti kurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. To a devotee who is constantly worshipping me in full attention, I show him the way. I give him the instructions so that he can come back to me. This is what Krishna says in Gita. And same thing Prabhupada is putting here. And then Prabhupada says, as far as others are concerned, Paramatma is sitting in their heart also, but he acts indifferently. What does he do? Whatever they want to do, the Lord gives sanction. But at the risk of the doer, the reactions will come and you have to face it. The Lord simply gives Mayadevi authority. Okay, he desires this, you give it to him. You understand? But the reactions will come and he has to face it. That time he will cry. Lord is indifferent. You desired, no, I give you permission. That's all. That is for non-devotees. Can you understand this? If you have any doubt, you can ask me at this point.
Prabhu.
Yes, Sumavataji, any doubt?
Understood, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. So there is a difference between devotee and non-devotee here. That's the point Prabhupada made earlier also. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Yoga, all these people don't have the advantage that a devotee has. Even though he's born as a Chandala, dog eater, he becomes qualified to perform yajna, provided he develops the love of God. This is the point. So the omnipotent
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Here, what will the full meaning of devotee apply, Prabhuji? In the sense, in this context, what do you mean by devotee? Like we say, no, Prabhuji, even if we say one time Hare Krishna.
Devotee is one who believes that I am part and parcel of the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is Krishna, and I am his eternal servant.
Okay,
By
Prabhuji.
my mistake, I developed a desire to enjoy in this material world. I have become trapped by my past karma. Now my whole business is to redevelop that love of God and return back home, back to God. In the meantime, whatever karma I have done in the past, they are coming back to me as obstacles in form of desire and in the form of suffering. They are becoming obstacles. But by taking the shelter of the Lord, by accepting his lotus feet as my boat to cross the ocean of samsara, I will cross it. All these desires, material desires I have, I see them as obstacles. And I will take the shelter of the Lord and I will continue to do service to him so that he will free me from those obstacles. I will not run behind satisfying all those material desires. Rather, I will always try to please him with all my activities. And yes, because I have got a human body, I have certain duties to perform to maintain myself. But while I do that, I will not overdo it. It's called atyahara, eating more than necessary. Prayasha. Prayasha means over endeavoring. We should not over endeavor. As a devotee, our aim is very, very clear. That I want to do the needful as far as maintenance is concerned. I want to go back home, back to God. My activity should be more and more devotionalized, spiritualized. And I don't want to be permanently trapped in the material world. As long as these concepts are accepted, that is the nectar of devotion you are reading, Namataji, or Bhagavatam?
Bhagavatam, Prabhuji.
Okay. Nectar of devotion, even in the very first chapter, you have a definition of bhakti that I spoke about in the earlier Isopanisad class, no? About pure devotion, that is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. That means your
Yes,
only
Prabhuji.
desire is to go back home, back to Godhead, to develop Krishna Prema, to serve him eternally, and to chant nice rounds, to take association of devotees, to visit the temple. These are all Abhilasha. They are all on the same path. Okay. And these desires come on the basis of Shraddha. You have heard the scripture, you have read the scripture, you have accepted a guru, you are in association of devotees. So you are developing Shastrik Shraddha. Shraddha based on Bhakti scripture. So
Yes,
these
Prabhuji.
Abhilashas are fine. I want to wake up in the Brahma Muhurta. I want to chant my rounds nicely. I want to regularly read Bhagavatam. I want to associate with devotees. I am doing all these things to develop Krishna Prema, to go back home, back to Godhead. This is called Abhilasha. If you have any other desire that is competing with this, which is going against this, that's called Anartha. Okay. I want to have a big bungalow. I want to have a lot of money. I want to have good respect. I want to sense gratify. I want to visit America. I want to visit Sri Lanka, whatever it is there. If I have all these desires, I can see that they are interference in my Abhilasha. Then you should categorize them as Anartha, not as Abhilasha. You cannot allow them to compete. And once you do that, you are a pure devotee. This is one part. There is no Abhilasha other than what will guide you, take you back to Krishna. Everything else is Anartha. You realize that. Even though the Anartha has got power over you. Why? Because of past karma. You see it as Anartha because you have developed faith in Shastra. So what was your goal earlier, it has now become Anartha. Can you see this point?
Yes, Prabhuji. I could even relate to what you said, Prabhuji, that when you become a devotee, then Krishna shows you the way, and he comes into your heart and shows him. It really happened with me last week, Prabhuji. So that is why I asked this doubt, Prabhuji. What is the
So
meaning of
you
devotee?
see, you are now Krishna is giving you the power of discrimination.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can see what is Anartha and what is Abhilasha. So as
Yes,
long
Prabhuji.
as you are clear in your mind, then these Anarthas, they become like snakes whose poison teeth has been broken. They can't affect you. They can't create karma for you because a devotee does not generate karma. This is for anyone who has no other Abhilasha. Anartha is there in us, but I acknowledge this is an Anartha. I acknowledge I should get rid of it. I pray to Krishna, please get rid of this Anartha from me. I am attracted by wealth. I am attracted by name and fame. I am attracted by having a lot of gossip. I am attracted to television, to watch the serials. But I know these are Anarthas. Please, Krishna, help me get out. Not that we are praying, oh, give me a nice 40-inch TV or a home theater where I can watch movies nicely. We are no longer praying like that. Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
There
Prabhuji.
might have been a time when we prayed like that. But today we know it is an Anartha. This is the mercy of Prabhupada on all of us. Prabhupada has made all of us pure devotees. But our Shraddha, we have to go on strengthening by reading scriptures, coming in the association of devotees. We have to strengthen our Shraddha. And we should carefully weed out the anarthas which are trying to enter. Like you become a nice devotee and you give nice classes and they all start praising, oh, what nice, amazing classes, Mataji, you gave. And then you want that more and more appreciation. You start taking it yourself. Instead of passing it on to the parampara, oh, it is because of Prabhupada I got this knowledge. Otherwise, how would I have got? It's all the mercy I have received. All the credit should go to him. If you don't have that mood, then you will, even within bhakti, you will develop anartha. Or, you have a nice deity at home. How nicely you do deity worship. How nicely you decorate your deities. How nicely you observe the vrata and all. People praise. And we start doing things for the praise. Then the anartha enters into our bhakti. So we have to be careful to sort out the anarthas and become focused on Shraddha, on the genuine Abhilasha. Then we are all pure devotees. There is a difference. We are pure sadhaka devotees. You understand?
Yes, Prabhuji.
We are not pure perfect devotees. Our Abhilasha is pure and we are not using karma kanda, jnana kanda, yoga. We are not trying that. We are trying to do only devotion. And our goal is one. Then we are pure sadhaka devotees. Because anarthas are still troubling us. But anarthas cannot trouble us for long. They will slowly die. That is the power of bhakti. So we are pure sadhaka bhaktas. One day we will become pure bhava bhaktas and one day we will become pure prema bhaktas. Bhava bhakta means gets the darshan of Krishna but intermittently. He doesn't remain in that mood constantly, up and down, up and down. But once you enter prema, 24 hours you become Krishna conscious. Then you are a pure devotee, perfect devotee. Till that time we are pure practicing devotees. We have to overcome these anarthas because right now we are following the rules only. We don't have a genuine love for Krishna in our heart. Someone who has genuine love for Krishna in the heart, they automatically material attachments go away from. Because we still have material attachments, we are practicing pure devotees. Is it okay, Mataji? So,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you. The next paragraph. Next paragraph, who will read?
Hare Krishna, may I read, Prabhuji?
Okay. Anyone who has not read, you have read now before, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Anyone who has not read before, can read?
Prabhuji, can I read, Prabhuji?
Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In the mantra of Sri Isopanisad, the devotee prays to the Lord to rectify him from within his heart. To err is human. A conditioned soul is very often apt to commit mistakes, and the only remedial measure to take against such unintentional sins is to give oneself up to the lotus feet of the Lord, so that he may guide one to avoid such pitfalls. The Lord takes charge of fully surrendered souls. Thus, all problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of his directions. Such directions are given to the sincere devotee in two ways. One is by way of the saints, scriptures, and spiritual master, and the other is by way of the Lord himself, who resides within the heart of everyone. Thus, the devotee, fully enlightened with Vedic knowledge, is protected in all respects.
See, the karma kandi, jnana kandi, the yogi, they are not protected at all. And Prabhupada says, we are all conditioned souls. To err is human. We are liable to make mistakes often. But there is only remedial measure is to surrender to God, saying, oh God, I am weak. I am weak. Flesh is weak, Flesh is weak. So I fall down, I make mistakes. Oh God, I surrender to your lotus feet. Please help me to avoid such pitfalls. Then Lord takes charge of the surrendered soul. This mercy is not available to Karmi Jnani because they don't accept God as a person. They don't accept God as a person. They have a sense enjoyment motivation. They have material attraction. They see God as some formless something. So they don't get what God offers to the devotee. So this is and all these problems are solved simply by surrender. And then Rupa says, when you surrender, you get directions. Two types of directions. One is saintly persons, scriptures, and spiritual master. Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are the three things from which you get guidance. That is one. Secondly, the Lord is sitting within us. He's called Chaitya Guru. He's sitting in our consciousness. He will give guidance to the devotee so that he will not make mistakes. So in this way, from all respects, devotee is protected and given full Vedic knowledge. Yes. So this is the message. Next paragraph. Hare Krishna. Who has not? Yes. Yes, Mataji. Go ahead.
Vedic knowledge is transcendental and cannot be understood by mundane educational procedures. One can understand the Vedic mantras only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru. If one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, it is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. The Lord appears as the spiritual master for the devotee. Thus, the spiritual master, the Vedic injunctions, and the Lord himself from within all guide the devotee in full strength. In this way, there is no chance for a devotee to fall again into the mire of material illusion. The devotee, thus protected all around, is sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. The entire process is hinted at in this mantra, and Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 20 explains it further.
Yeah, you can read that also, Mataji, because it continues. Yeah.
Hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord is itself an act of piety. The Lord wants everyone to hear and chant his glories because he is the well-wisher of all living entities. By hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, one becomes cleansed of all undesirable things, and then one's devotion becomes fixed upon the Lord. At this stage, the devotee acquires the Brahmanical qualifications, and the effects of the lower modes of nature, passion, and ignorance completely vanish. The devotee becomes fully enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and thus he comes to know the path of the Lord and the way to attain him. As all doubts diminish, he becomes a pure devotee.
Amazing. All doubts diminish. Yeah. Asamshayam. Samshayatma vinashyati. Bhagavad Gita says, one who has a doubting nature, he is destroyed. He neither has this world nor the next world. So samshayatma. So your advancement is shown by how your doubts get removed. See, even if you have doubts, there's a nice way to handle it. That is, supposing a 6th standard student goes to a PhD level student and says, please explain theory of relativity to me. And supposing that person tries to explain to the best of his ability, the 6th standard person cannot understand. So, but if he denies, theory of relativity is all bogus because I could not understand anything, mumbo jumbo. But would that be intelligent to do that? That is the mistake that people do, without reading scriptures or without reading under proper guidance or reading scriptures which are written and translated by non-bona fide people, malafide intentions. By reading that, they get wrong thing and they start questioning, they get unlimited doubts and they are destroyed. So very, very carefully we have to choose from where we learn. So Prabhupada says, to become a devotee is not a sentimental thing. I am going back to the last paragraph. Vedic knowledge is transcendental. I am going back to that. So we need Vedic knowledge to do bhakti. There is a song which says, Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatri Vidhim Vina, Aikantiki Haribhaktir, Utpadayeva Kalpate. If someone rejecting Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Pancharatra Vidhi and everything, and he says, I am a devotee, he is creating disturbance to the whole world, including himself. So devotion cannot be sentimental. What thing I think I will do like that? No, you have to follow Vedas. But the problem is, if you try to read the Vedas and understand the Vedic mantras, it is not possible. It's not like mundane education, right? Mundane education, I can sometimes get a degree simply reading books at home and writing some exam, you get, no? But it's not possible. So, Yasyadeve parabhaktir yata deve tata guru. Only by the grace of God, the truth of God is revealed to you. By the grace of the Guru, the truth of God is revealed to you in your heart. So you need the mercy of a spiritual master. So the point is, if you become a devotee, you take the elevator path to God. If you are a karma kandi, jnana kandi, you take the circuitous path, you may fall down also. But if you want to take the elevator path, you have to take the help of scriptures. And the scriptures you can learn only under the lotus feet of a guru. And the guru, you have to surrender to him, and through him you have to acquire that knowledge. These are the only requirements. It is the Lord who is appearing as spiritual master. We have to understand spiritual master is not a human being. It is a supreme Lord who is appearing as a spiritual master. All the time he was guiding within as Chaitya Guru. Now he is manifesting outside as spiritual master. Thus, the spiritual master, the Vedic injunctions, and the Lord himself from within, they are guiding the devotee in full strength. In this way, the devotee will never fall down into illusion. And with this protection, he will surely reach ultimate destination of perfection. And the process, what is hinted in this mantra, it is only hinted in this mantra. How it is hinted? Because we are praying to the Lord, O Lord, as powerful as fire, please destroy the obstacles and please throw light on my path. So what is that? That is explained in Bhagavatam nicely. What does it say? Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hrudayantastohya Bhadrani Vidunoti Sudrit Satam. Bhagavatam says, just by hearing and chanting the glories of Krishna is itself an act of piety. That's all. You don't have to do anything. Constantly read Srimad Bhagavatam. Constantly read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Constantly read the spiritual bhakti literature. Then the Lord will purify you. The Lord wants everyone to hear and chant his glories. See, this is there in every religion. Unfortunately, people don't understand. Again, our foolish, egoistic mentality, we don't understand why God wants us to glorify him. Not because he needs our glorification. What fools we are to think like that. That God wants me to glorify. He's like an ordinary person, cheap fellow looking for some popularity. Why should God ask me to glorify him? This is the kind of nonsensical thought we entertain because of our false ego. The Lord doesn't need anything from us, including our foolish glorification. But by glorifying the Lord, we become purified. We become competent to go back home, back to Godhead. We develop the qualities of a Brahmana, as told here. So by hearing, chanting, we become purified. Anarthas leave us, our devotion becomes fixed, and then we develop Brahmanical qualifications, means we rise above Tamogun and Rajogun, we become fixed in Sattva, Sthidam Sattve Prasidati. Then after that, we, by virtue of devotional service, we go beyond Sattva also, and we come to know God, and we attain him, and we associate with him. All the doubts diminish. At the stage of Shraddha, we have entered into Krishna consciousness, but we still have doubts, misgivings. It's called, Prabhupada uses this nice word, misgivings. These misgivings will go only by practicing bhakti in the association of devotees constantly. Then the misgivings will go, and one day pure prema will arise in the heart. Hare Krishna. With this, we come to the end of Isopanisad. Thank you very much for your patience. I think we have done it in about 10 or 11 sessions. So thank you very much for your kind cooperation.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Prabhu, from next week onwards, you will start anything else, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, I will try to post it in the group. I will try to take your reactions.
Please don't leave us like this, Prabhu. Start something else, Prabhu, please.
I have a plan now to go towards book reading. Like we read this one shloka now. We read, discuss, read, discuss, read, discuss. Like that, we will announce in advance which book we are reading, and everyone will come prepared. And unlike this time, everyone will contribute. That way, we'll read Prabhupada's books. And I have in mind Nectar of Instruction as the next book, and Nectar of Devotion as the book to follow. Then perhaps we'll start Srimad Bhagavatam. If all goes well, if everything is has Lord's mercy and the blessings of Vaishnavas, then we will do that. So please stay in the group. We will try to post something.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your association, for the explanation. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, your translation of the Shikshastakam was particularly beautiful, and Shikshastakam is by itself is a very beautiful piece, and your interpretation was, your translation was made so nice that we could really warm the heart was felt very good hearing it. I
Prabhu,
may
it is Sikshashtaka has come directly from the lotus feet of the lotus mouth of the
Yes.
Supreme Lord.
Yes. Yes. But many people are chanting without knowing the full meaning. So, including me, so you gave us the full translation of it. It was so beautiful. Maybe we could have just a 1 hour session only on Sikshastakam.
Not possible, Prabhuji. Whatever I start, it will go to several hours. Sikshastakam, impossible to discuss.
No, just the meaning, the literal meaning and the interpretation.
Yeah, we can
Do that.
try. Yeah, we can try.
But
Yes.
And this thing also explanation of the Varna system and how we can, every single person can aspire to get Brahminical qualities. That too was very beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. All glories to
Hare
Srila
Krishna,
Prabhupada.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Thank you so
Prabhuji,
much.
Yes.
Dhruva Maharaj performed devotional service to attain something, to attain that fame of fame.
Yes.
So initially, was that a karma kanda, Prabhuji? No, Prabhuji.
See, akama sarva kamova moksha kama rudaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusha param. Srimad Bhagavatam recommends whether you are having no desires or you are full of material desires or you simply want liberation. All kinds of people should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. This is the recommendation of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, even though he had a material desire when he started his worship, but eventually, because he was not doing karma kanda, he was not doing jnana kanda, he was doing bhakti, and he became purified because Narada Muni guided him. He got directly Narada Muni as a spiritual master, and he strictly followed. Within 6 months, he got darshan of the Lord. And when the Lord came, all his material desires had disappeared. But the Lord still blessed him that whatever desires you came with, I am fulfilling. And Dhruva only cried. He says, a huge diamond in the form of Supreme Lord I have got, but I came here praying for a broken piece of glass. So like that is why you become a devotee, the Lord will purify you. But because in this Kali Yuga, we have a short life, a movement like ISKCON has been created. So that you don't have to make mistakes, trial and error. You have now been told clearly, do pure devotion and go back. Don't try to get your material desires satisfied by worshipping Krishna. Krishna says, what a fool you are. You have come to me and you are asking for something cheap. Supposing somebody like Bill Gates says, please have a meeting with me. Whatever you want, I will give. And you ask him, you give me a small 2-bedroom flat in Chennai. Everybody will laugh. Hey, Bill Gates is calling you. Ask something big. Like that. When the Supreme Lord, he wants to give himself to you. Why you would ask for some material things? So that is the thing we learned from the life of Dhruva Maharaj. Even material desires, you should go to Krishna only. That is one part. Second part is, but don't be a fool going to Krishna and asking for something material. When Krishna is willing to give you his own Dhamma, to become his own personal associate. Yes, Mataji? Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in one of the shlokas of the Bhagavatam, it was given like to attain health, fire god or something like that, Prabhuji. And for that intangible fame, you have to approach the personality of Godhead. So there I felt that why was the Lord's name was mentioned like there, because it's not at all a karma kanda, no, Prabhuji, going to Supreme Lord. It is a pure devotional service. It is pure devotional service. But to attract all kinds of people, there are some Palashruti given so that they will also be attracted. So there, for example, Gajendra's prayers, if you chant, then say you will not get bad dreams. Some people are constantly suffering from bad dreams. They are told, you read this. So it's simply to bring all kinds of people out of mercy to read the scripture, but all these petty desires will become purified. After some time, they develop pure love of God. But for us, by the mercy of Prabhupada, he's directly giving you pure devotional service. He's not giving you mixed devotion. He's giving you pure devotion. So let us take it and joyfully practice it. And in this one lifetime, let us all go back home, back to God. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'm very sorry, Prabhuji. Since you mentioned this Gajendra Moksha, no, Prabhuji, I have a doubt, Prabhuji, in this. Because first the Lord comes and liberates the crocodile first. Then he moves to the elephant. So Mataji said that because he was serving the devotee of his devotee, the crocodile was serving Gajendra. So that is what they said. So it is always better to become the Dasanu Dasanu Dasa.
So in that case, sometimes it so happens like Hanuman is a dasa of the Supreme Lord. So how is it, Prabhuji? Like we sometimes it's not possible. Like if we only serve them, is it not like deviating from the Supreme Lord, Prabhuji?
I don't get the last point. What is it, Hanuman? You said
Like Hanuman is a dasa, the servant of the Supreme Lord. So
yes.
it is better to serve Hanuman.
Hmm.
So that is what he said. The concept is there.
No, it's not like better to serve. No. That's a misunderstanding. That's a wrong interpretation of the whole business. You know,
Like you should be the dasa.
Lord Shiva is also considered Vaishnava number one. Vaishnava nam yata sambhu. Yeah. So you worship the Supreme Lord and you serve all his devotees in the mood of the servant of a servant.
Prabhuji, worshipping is only Supreme Lord and serving is all of them. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, you serve all of them as good as Krishna. You give them the same respect that you give to Krishna to all his devotees. You become humble. That's the point. We become humble. We have the mood of a servant. But when we see others, we see them as children of Krishna, friends of Krishna, associates of Krishna. Ourselves, we see a servant of Krishna. That way, we will never fall into the sahajiya mood. You know? We will always have the right mood of serving. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Isopanisad ki jai.